Hi students, economics. Economics is a very interesting subject, it's a growing subject and its horizon has been spreading all over the world. And from the beginning of the mankind till we exist in this world, the subject economics will be existing with us. It is because economics is a social science. What do you mean by social science? Study about society. Man, every individual and his relation with the society. That is why it is called social, can be classified as a science. It is because they are classified, they are analyzed, then conclusion is being reached. Predictions are made out of this. That aspect is also present in the study of economics. So economics can be considered as science also. Both aspects are present in this. The aspect art as well as science. So we can call it a social science and easily we can call it as a queen of social science. It is because economics has relation with all other subjects. All other subjects like history, politics, law and jurisprudence, ethics, logic, statistics, mathematics, with all subjects it has connection. Robbins, Jordan and Robertson, they say that economics has aspects, all the aspects of science present in it. So they say that it is a science. It's a study of science. A.C. Pigou and Marshall and other economists, they considered economics is simply a study, art only. But in economics, both aspects are present. Art as well as science are present over there. So we call it what science? Social science. Now we will go to the nature of this subject. What do you mean by nature of subject? In nature of subject, we study what are the contents in it and how and why they are present in this subject. First of all, I told you that economics is considered as an art. It is because of the practical application of knowledge to find solution to the economic problems, I said. So we should know what are the economic problems present in this world. If you name out very easily, we can say, first of all, we will say unemployment, inflation, anything that related with the money is called economic problem. So this word has been derived from the Greek word oikonomikos, meaning household management. In economics, we study about how the state manages all economic problems. This is like a household management only, that is the income and expenditure pattern. At home we make a budget with the income and expenditure. The same way the state also. In economics we study about the problems that are existing in the state and how does it has been managed. That is studied in economics. So it can be in the beginning called as political economy, right only. Then only it has been taken out from politics and separated. So Alfred Marshall only renamed it as economics. So now we will see the basic concepts that are studied in economics. We study about goods and services. Why these goods and services? It is because without goods and services man cannot live, isn't it? They satisfy the human wants. The wants of a person are innumerable. You cannot count the number of wants that a person has. If you ask one beggar to write the number of wants he has, he will write a big list. If you want a king to write the number of wants he has, he will also write a big list. If I have been asked, I will write a big list. If you are asked, you will write a big list. So these wants are innumerable. It depends upon person to person. It differs from person to person. But everybody wants to get his wants satisfied. So all these human wants can be satisfied by the use of goods and services that are existing in the economy. All the goods are economic goods? No. You cannot say all the goods are economic goods. It is because man lives by consuming the free goods that are available in the economy. That is the gift of God. It is available in abundance. So the natural resources that are present in one place is not the same as it is present in other countries. The natural resources that are in East European countries, it is entirely different from the natural resources that are available in India. The natural resources available in USA they are used for production of some type of commodities. Okay, and the natural resources available in Japan are used for production of some other commodities. So they are scarce in supply. That is why the problem of production, when we study the problem of production, What are the goods to be produced? That problem will arise, isn't it? Only depending upon the natural resources that are available in the economy, goods can be produced. But goods are of free goods as well as economic goods. So when we are able to take up the commodities without paying any price, then that commodities are called free goods. First of all, you know what is good. Good means commodities, product, thing in common sense. Anything that is used can be considered as goods. In economics, services are also called goods, unless otherwise they are specified. If they are specified separately, these services are also considered as goods in economics. That is why the word goods and services together we are studying. In economics, services are also considered as a good, unless otherwise they are specifically mentioned as a service. So now what are all free goods? Sunshine, air, water. But nowadays water is not considered as a free good. It is because we pay a price for it. When a commodity is paid price, then it becomes economic goods. When do we pay price for the commodities? Only when the commodities are being produced in the industries. Of course, they are used by the natural resources. And for getting the natural resources also, it has to be paid. So the four factors of production that help for the production are land, labor, capital and organization. So this land is nothing but the free gift of nature. And when we study the characteristics of these free goods and economic goods and goods and services, you can easily understand. That is, what are all goods? They are tangible. They have a physical dimension. So you can touch it. You can touch and feel about it. But the services, you cannot touch. That is why we call it as intangible. It cannot be seen through our eyes. Can we see through our eyes the service of a doctor? Only we can use it. It satisfies the human want. For a sick person, to get him cured, okay, the service of the doctor is being used. But it cannot be touched. That service cannot be felt by the patient. In the same way, students, they can get benefits out of the services rendered by the teachers. It is intangible. It cannot be touched. But nowadays, some of the services like music, and they become tangible. You know how? That is, music is being taken into pen drive and they are sold out. And they are recorded and they are sold out in the market. When they are sold out in that market, then it is considered as a good. Now I am telling you the difference between goods and services. Goods are the characteristics of goods. They are tangible. They have physical dimension. Some form they have goods. But services, there is no form for it. It is because we cannot see through our eyes. We can just simply feel that the services and we can make use of the services. You can listen the class of a teacher and then your knowledge develops. We cannot see through our eyes. That is why the brand image and goodwill, they are considered as services. And then these goods and services, they exist independently. This is a good, this is a commodity. I am just having it in my hands. I have bought it from the market. So I have paid a price for it. So this is a commodity owned by me. So that means all the commodities are owned by somebody. That is why it is said that they are owned by some persons. All goods and services, before they are being sold out to the consumers, they are owned by the first by the producers and then wholesaler and then retailer. Somebody will own the goods. They are transferable. You can take a commodity from one place to another place and they have value in exchange. It is because when they are exchanged in the market, what is paid? Money is paid. As what? As a price for the commodity. They have value in exchange. When it can be exchanged, but a service cannot be exchanged. The skill of a teacher cannot be exchanged with the other person. The skill of a doctor cannot be exchanged with the other person. The skill of a lawyer cannot be exchanged. So only the goods have value in exchange. They exist independently of the owner. Of course, all the goods have owners. Do you understand the characteristics of goods? Now we'll go for the characteristics of services. They are intangible, like brand image and then goodwill, and then they are heterogeneous. That means they vary across the countries and from region wise also, from cultural background also. It varies. Services varies. And they are inseparable from the workers. For example, if a laborer, okay, he exerts energy. Suppose somebody lifts up. That is called labor. Can you separate that labor from the laborer? It cannot be separated from it. So it is in his body itself. He exerts energy. That is why when labor has been defined by Alfred Marshall, the exertion of body or mind. Exertion of body or mind. That's what Alfred Marshall says for labor. It is inseparable from the workers. You cannot separate it. But the commodity, when it is produced, it can be separated. I mean all the commodities, all goods and services, they exist independently of the owner. But this service cannot exist independently. It is inside the worker. That is why it is said it is inseparable from the workers. And they are perishable. So they cannot be entered as inventories, as assets. Yes, perishable means it cannot be used for a longer time. Once it is being used up. That's all. Energy is used up, over. You can say one more example. Suppose you buy a ticket for anything, to watch a movie, to watch a cricket. That date and everything is gone. Can this ticket be of use? If we store that ticket, and if we want to see the same, if we want to use that same ticket in some other day, can you use it? You cannot use it. So these are all the characteristics of services.